Welcome to the Mind Basketball Podcast, also known as M.O.B Podcast, episode 69. I am Evan.
And I'm Ja.
And this is our basketball podcast, where we recap, break down, and analyze players and teams from the previous games from the previous day. Last episode before the All-Star break. How are you doing, Ja? Friday afternoon.
Chilling. Feel good.
That's good. That is good. I'm doing good as well. Better than Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. So with that being said, I hope everyone have a good day. I hope everyone have a good day. I hope everyone will have a good day. The All-Star teams were picked as LeBron and KD drafted their players and formed their team last night. So I guess we should start with that. Announcing first, Team LeBron. Obviously, LeBron James. He drafted Giannis, Steph Curry, Luka, Jokic. That is their starting five. The reserves, Jaylen Brown, Paul George, Damian Lillard, Chris Paul, Domantas Sabonis, Ben Simmons, and Rudy Gobert. It was the last pick. Kevin Durant's team, starting lineup, no KD, but he was allowed to draft his team. Starting lineup, Kawhi Leonard, Kyrie, Embiid, Tatum, and Bradley Beal. Reserves, Devin Booker, Vucevic, James Harden, Zach LaVine, Zion Williamson, Julius Randle, and Donovan Mitchell, who was the last pick of his team. What you think of both of these teams? Who do you think has the advantage?
Well, when it comes to I feel like they picked their teams really well. When it comes to, I feel like a shooting and highlight advantage, I feel like KD's got it. But again, in terms of smarts, intelligence, and just bigs, and also having just one of the greatest shooter to ever live on their team, I feel like LeBron has more of an advantage in that standpoint.
Yeah.
So,
sorry not to interrupt you. What were you saying?
No. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I mean, LeBron, you can't go wrong with LeBron having the first pick, picking Giannis, and then right after Giannis picking Curry.
Yeah.
So, and KD was stuck with, not stuck really, because Kyrie's not a bum, but Kyrie is his teammate, so he automatically had to pick Kyrie. So otherwise, you know what they will say. You know how Kyrie would feel. Come on, man. I'm in the starting line. You're not gonna pick me first. I mean, you can't go wrong with Kyrie though, especially in an All-Star game. He was a former All-Star game MVP.
Yeah.
So, but they, these are all All-Stars, and this is just a fun showcase or whatever. Showcase your skills, showcase of the best players in the world.
Yeah, I would also like to say they actually have more shot creators on KD's team too. When you look at it.
Yeah, Zach LaVine, Kawhi, Kyrie, Booker, Harden, Bradley Beal, Tatum.
Yeah, shooters and shot. That's not it. That's KD's team kind of get on a little bit.
I mean, but it's gonna be a toss up because I mean both teams have All-Stars.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's whoever wins. It's just a fun exhibition pickup game. So not to be taken seriously unless you was the last two picks in the draft and you're the best team in the West. But nonetheless, as I said,
let it go already. Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna let it go. I'm sorry. If anyone who didn't watch the draft, Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert were picked last. Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert are on the Utah Jazz, who have the best record in the league. Why are they the last pick? I guess that shows to tell you what the All-Star, what the elites of the NBA think about the Utah Jazz. If Kevin Durant and LeBron don't want them.
Look, they don't mean it like that. It looked like slander, and it kind of was slander, but it's like it was like no disrespect. At the end of the day, it's still All-Star game. They were going to eventually be on the board at some point, whether if it was going to be sometime.
Well, yeah, they were on the board, the last two.
Look, man, let it go, man. It's not that deep.
I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna fight for Donovan. I'm fighting for Rudy. This is so disrespectful. I feel them. They've been disrespected this whole year. Rudy starting with Shaq. Donovan with Shaq as well. He getting technical fouls. He feel like the NBA's picking on him. Jazz getting no respect from the league. I'm with them now. I'm on their side.
Well, look at Salt Lake. Salt Lake. Really? And that's no disrespect. I never been there. I never seen that place before or anything. But Salt Lake. Embarrassment. Go on.
Listen, if I really hope they don't feel some type of way. I mean, we just joking, but I hope they don't feel any type of way. Because I probably would, knowing the two best players in the world. And we were working hard, and we the best record in the West. Not only in the West, but in the league. And with the last two picks, that kind of shows you how they view us.
Nah, it's just a system, man. Just rumors. It's just a system.
That's why they didn't get picked. I mean, it's Quinn Snyder. It's Jordan Clarkson.
It's just a fluke,
I'm sorry, Donovan. You don't get no respect. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why.
All right, it's whatever.
Yeah, all jokes aside, it's just the All-Star game, Everybody's out there to have fun. Can't go wrong with the picks or whatever. Shouldn't be upset with who picks who or what pick you're in, or if you're last or whatever. Because at the end of the day, All-Stars can't go wrong with that. And who cares about whether you pick last or not?
Yeah, you still got picked. So I look at it as you still got picked.
You got picked as an All-Star, and no one's debating that you're not an All-Star. So that's how I think it should be. So anyway, yep, Team LeBron, Team Durant set to do battle. 8:00 Sunday, the All-Star game.
Yep.
But all right, from that to the games from last night, the last games before the All-Star game in the All-Star break. Starting off with the only primetime game of the night, the Miami Heat without Bam, going up against the New Orleans Pelicans without Zion. That man behind me. Also, JJ Redick was out. And the Pelicans, without Zion, despite JJ Redick, really came out, fought hard, battled it out. You can see that they was clearly going up against a better team. But that did not stop them. They really kept the pace. They kept the momentum. Every time the Heat tried to, extended, the Pelicans always tried their best to come back in the game and stay within reach of the game. But they only stood within reach. They never got past that moment. They never got too close. The Heat did a fantastic job, especially late. Their defense and their shot making, and as a result, despite the effort of the Pelicans, the Heat did come up with the win. Your thoughts?
Again, the Pelicans are one of the best offensive teams in the league. I believe they're ranked number 5th or 6th. They were talking about it on the during the game, but it's just their defense too. If you want to pull out some of these games, your defense has to be disciplined within these closing moments when you have a close lead like that. And I felt like that's the thing that kind of hindered them. They were able to make shots and keep up with the Heat, but in the defensive end, it was just not much. And the Heat was disciplined on both ends. Again, just like you say, their defensive mentality, but the fact that when you look at their offense, their movement and everything else, and mind you, Jimmy Buckets was getting buckets highly clutch down that stretch, along with Icky thinking that he could turn back the clock. So, you got to be aware of that. You know what I mean? You got to try to find a way to halt those things, because when you halt those things, you may have opportunity to take an advantage, but you just didn't. And as a result, the Heat was just the better team at the end of the day.
Yep, and late, the Pelicans really made some costly mistakes with their turnovers and their bad shots. And that's the thing with the Pelicans. A lot of the time, they just really shoot themselves.
Yeah.
When this was already a hard game enough. I mean, if you did have Zion and JJ Redick. The Miami Heat, when they're healthy, when they have Jimmy, they're not a they're not a joke. I mean,
Exactly.
they went to the finals last year for a reason, and
Exactly.
took the Heat, took the Lakers 6 games for a reason. So you need to not defeat yourself.
Yeah.
The Pelicans do that a lot.
Yeah. And I feel like it wouldn't have been different. I felt like this would have been a different story, and something kind of changed if Zion and Redick were playing though.
Yeah,
I
I
did feel.
agree. But then I could have said Bam could have been playing, and it would have been the same thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. But as a result, the Heat do take this win right before the All Star break. All right. A few other games happened last night. Anything that you like to go into?
I like to speak about the Bucks and the Grizzlies. This was a really good game down the stretch. Um, the Bucks came out with a 22-9 lead to start off the quarter, and then they had the lead for parts of the way, and then Memphis just had a big third quarter. They found their stride. They were able to pick up their defensive intensity, and as a result, their defensive intensity led to the fact of them with ball movement, spacing, and everything. They were able to pick their shots correctly within that third quarter, and they was able to make a big run in which down the stretch they eventually took the lead, and then it became a back and forth toss between the two teams. Um, but yet and then the sequence of events happen. Giannis attacks the paint. He finds a wide open Pat
Connaughton.
Connaughton, yeah, wide open in the corner. He drains the shot to give the Bucks the lead. And eventually at one point, Chris Middleton gets to the line, and he makes free throws. But oh man, what was it? I believe somebody made a shot, but I could be wrong. But I'm just gonna move on. John Morant, basically the Grizzlies have the ball down by one. John Morant John is inbounded. John Morant gets it back, isolation, and he has one space of daylight. He gets to the paint and he makes a layup, big time layup. But yet the Bucks calmed and poised, were able to get it in bounds, and as a result, coming down the floor, Drew Holiday just basically made a clutch game-winning basket, fadeaway basket from the. How would you describe it? Like
That
from the
back?
baseline. Yep, from the
Oh,
corner baseline.
yeah, yeah, from the left side, the wing.
Yep, from the left side of the corner baseline. And as a result, the Bucks were able to win this game 112-111.
Yes, the Bucks escaping with the victory against this
Yeah,
Grizzlies team. Heads up, Drew Holiday. No timeouts, 7 seconds left. When heads up for the Bucks, pushing the ball immediately, didn't wait. As soon as John Morant scored, they went in attack mode. So
yep,
you can't slow down. No timeouts, you gotta go. Because they
exactly.
did, and Drew Holiday, give him credit, acting like he's in Philly with the big shot. So yeah, Bucks escaping with the win against this tough Grizzlies team.
The next game I would like to talk about is the Clippers versus Wizards. This was another highly competitive game, really back and forth and stuff. Um, the Clippers, in the first quarter it was a back and forth, and then the Clippers decided to go on a big run within that second quarter, and they had a lead going into halftime, and then the third quarter had, and then the Wizards start to mount their comeback, and then once again it became a back and forth once the fourth quarter started. And I felt like the change of tide happened the moment that Westbrook passed it to
Wagner.
Mo Wagner to hit that corner three on the right side. And then from that point on, the Wizards just started pouring on scoring and everything from that point on. But yet, the Clippers, being the Clippers, they still stood into it and stuff and everything like that. And I believe after Westbrook made some big free throws down the line, it was 112-116. The Wizards were up by four, and Kawhi, with the ball in his hands, was able to make a big clutch three right at the top of the key, 115-116. And then from that point on, it was just basically free throw situations. And Rui Hachimura, Bradley Beal gets fouled. He goes to the line. He makes two big free throws to make it 118. And then Zubac gets fouled. He makes his two free throws, and then Rui Hachimura gets fouled. He makes one, misses the shot, but yet they were able to secure the rebound and get the win.
Yeah, an upset by the Wizards against the Clippers. A big win for them, as you know, they need every win because they are fighting their way to get into the play-in and playoff positioning. So, nonetheless, a great win by this Wizards team, beating the Clippers right before their break. All right, and lastly,
the Blazers versus Kings. Let's just get this out the
skip.
way real quick.
Yeah,
Let's skip right to it. Dame Lillard, game time. Always coming up
again.
Yep. Some big consecutive clutch baskets down the stretch to help give the Blazers this win. But don't get me wrong, it wasn't that easy though. Like, even though he made some clutch shots, the Kings, mainly again, the De'Aaron Fox was was basically sticking with him. The duel between those two point guards was just he also made some two clutch threes down the stretch too to keep the Kings within it. But as a result, the Blazers were able to get fouled, make their free throws, and as a result, we was able to win this game 123 to 119.
Yeah, and you mentioned the duel. I mean, De'Aaron finished with 32 and 12, I believe, and Dame finished with 44. So, I mean, those are the guards, and of course, that man right behind me, he's just been doing it every night. When they hit that fourth quarter time, you can rely on him. He's just big time, Dame time. We know what it's about. Probably, or might be the most clutchest player, at least in the regular season, um, in the NBA right now. I mean, he's that big for them. Also wanted to give a shout out to Ennis Cantor, who had 22 and 21 for the Blazers last night, and he's been stepping up big time throughout this entire run for the Blazers. When Nurkic went down, he's really been big time for them, especially on the offensive side. Little touchy on his defense, not really the best defender, but he can do what he does when it counts and when it matters. So I give big props to Cantor because he's really been a big help for this Blazers team.
Yeah.
But all right. I guess there's not predictions for tomorrow's night's game because there are no games tomorrow. So I guess we should just go into the predictions for the All-Star events.
Yeah.
So why not? All right. Starting with the skills challenge. To remind everyone who is participating in the skills challenge, Robert Covington, Luka Doncic, Chris Paul, Julius Randle, Domantas Sabonis, and Nikola Vucevic. Who do you think will win that?
My pick will be Luka, but I think that the finalists between them will be Luka and Sabonis. But I got Luka winning it all.
Julius Randle. That's why. The 3-point contest featuring Stephen Curry, Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Zach LaVine.
Devin Booker for me.
Devin Booker, Stephen Curry for me. The dunk contest, which is during the halftime show of the All-Star game, featuring Cassius Stanley of the Pacers, Obi Toppin of the Knicks, and Anthony Simons of the Blazers.
Well, I already know who you got, so I'm just gonna tell the audience who you got. Just put down your hat right now. Yep, he got Obi, and I got Cassius Stanley.
Yep. And by the way, the skills challenge and 3-point contest will be 6:30 before the All-Star game, which is at 8. Speaking of the All-Star game, Team LeBron up against Team Durant. We just said who they got on each team. So, who do you think will win this All-Star game?
I'm gonna go with Team Durant, but it's not a good thing to bet against Bron because if you've been watching the All-Star game for the last 2 seasons, he has found some kind of way to always get the win when it matters the most. But I got Team Durant.
And I got Team LeBron. And real quickly, who do you think will be the All-Star Game MVP?
All-Star game MVP. Wow.
Well,
Okay,
if you got Team Durant, then you got to pick someone for Team Durant.
yeah. Hmm, dang. I don't know. I really don't know. I can't choose that. Probably I'll say even though he's coming off the bench, I say Harden may end up having a big game. I got Harden.
You saying even though he's coming off the bench? Well, even though my guy is coming off the bench, I got Dame for this one. So yeah, but it should be fun. Should be a great All-Star Sunday to remember, and it will be a great break for us at least. No podcast tomorrow, Saturday or Sunday, or no podcast. Yeah, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Monday we will return. Probably just chilling with the All-Star game. No deep analysis for that. Nothing needed. For Monday, we will recap the season so far and preview the second half of the season. And of course, after that, no break, no games Monday, no games Tuesday, and the season resumes Wednesday. So enjoy the break. If you need anything to do during the break, watch the Inside documentary story. The first episode was last night. It was really great. It was really great so far. The newest episode is tonight, so enjoy that. As everyone who doesn't love the Inside of the NBA, come on, it's just so entertaining. So watch that in our absence because we will be watching it. And yeah, it's been a fun first half of the season. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will continue to bring this energy for the second half of the season. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching today's pod. Make sure to tune into Monday's podcast. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
Also follow IG down in the description below.
And once again, I am Evan.
And I'm Ja.
And this is the Mind of Basketball Podcast.